Disturbing facts that will probably disturb you even if you're not easily disturbed. Part 55. Lorena Bobbit cut off her abusive husband's pecker. On June 23rd, 1993, Lorena Bobbit's husband came home from work and promptly sexually assaulted her, then fell asleep. Obviously, this was a regular occurrence. Lorena went to the kitchen to get a drink of water and instead procured the largest steak knife that she could find, went upstairs to her bedroom where her husband was still sleeping, pulled the covers back, and chopped his pecker off. And then she took the severed penis, got in her car, and drove away. But she was having a hard time driving one-handed because she was holding the severed appendage in the other hand, so she threw it out the window. A little bit later, she called 911 and was like, hey, hope you're having a great night. Crazy weather we're having. I cut off my husband's penis and I threw it somewhere like on Mockingbird Lane, so get on that. The EMTs were in fact able to find her husband's severed penis and they were able to reattach it. I would have thought he would have bled out, but must have been a really clean cut on Lorena's part. But he lived and they were able to reattach his manhood after a 9.5-hour surgery. Lorena avoided jail time due to reason of insanity. She went on to advocate for domestic abuse victims, and her husband John went on to star in 2 adult films and stated that as of 2018, his penis was back to normal. Look, I do not care if you have got Dr. House reattaching your shit, Dr. Meredith Grey reattaching your shit. There is no way that your penis is back to normal after it got chopped off with a steak knife. Wrath is just a really fun way of saying strong, vengeful anger. But anger is meant to protect us, such as in the case of Lorena Bobbit, she was just protecting herself. She said, you're gonna sexually assault me with your pecker and I'm gonna take it from you. Because anger triggers our fight or flight response, and this allows us to defend ourselves, as anger allows us to have an immediate response to threats of danger. If you've ever been in a situation where someone was trying to hurt someone you loved, and instead of being scared, you got extremely angry that they were trying to do such a thing, and you cut their pecker off, or something like that. On July 24th, 2002, Clara Harris confronted her husband David in a hotel parking lot after finding out that he was messing around with his receptionist. Clara reportedly struck David with her Mercedes-Benz and ran over him multiple times, killing him. I want to know exactly how many times did you go over him to make sure that he was the car totaled or was the car okay? Because that is a strong-bodied car if you can run over an adult man several times and not total it. In 2007, astronaut Lisa Noack was charged with attempted murder in a love triangle involving another astronaut. She was the woman that supposedly wore a diaper while she traveled 900 miles to intimidate her lover's new flame. I don't think that was true, the diaper part, but it makes sense. If I'm going on that long of a journey, my bladder is the size of a peanut, okay? I have to pee like once every hour on the hour. I'd probably wear a diaper too for a trip that long. Anyone want to go on a road trip with me? I'll bring extra diapers. Passive aggressiveness, in my humble opinion, is one of the weakest forms of wrath. It's like how every time you visit your aunt, she says, "My, it looks like you've been eating good." My favorite case of passive aggressiveness is when a person deliberately refuses to address an issue at hand. I know it was you that poisoned my mom's coffee. Okay, don't you have anything to say for yourself? Nope. I'm calling the cops. You do that. That's the passive part of the aggressive. People love to throw around the word narcissist when they're describing someone that they don't like. Just like how people love to throw around the word autistic because they're a little socially awkward. Classic examples of narcissist wrath are threats of blackmail. If you won't be with me, I'm gonna tell everyone that you have 6 nipples. Using their good looks to justify bad behavior. I'm tall, dark, and handsome. I can't believe that you wouldn't want to be with me just because I gave away your dog and burned your house down. Intense anger outbursts that are disproportionate to the situation. You left the toilet seat up? Why don't you just spit in my face and kill my mom while you're at it? Verbal attacks that try to belittle or humiliate someone else. No one will ever love you with your halitosis and all those extra nipples. And of course, a narcissist will never take responsibility for their own actions. Well, yeah, I slept with 27 people, but it was the 19th anniversary of my step-great-aunt Gertrude's death and you weren't there for me, so really it's your fault. Sound familiar? Phil Hartman, who helped Paul Reubens develop his character Pee Wee Herman, was murdered by his wife Bryn after a heated argument. She shot him 3 times while he was asleep in bed, drove to a friend's house, told the friend what she did. The friend did not believe her, then followed her back to her house. Then the friend called 911 because obviously there's a dead dude in the bed. The police showed up, took Phil's body. By this point, Bryn had barricaded herself inside the bedroom. She eventually ended up taking her own life with the same gun that she used to kill her husband. Bryn had reportedly been under the influence of Zoloft, alcohol, and cocaine, which does not sound like a very fun cocktail to me. And obviously it's not if it makes you kill your husband. Marvin Gaye was killed by his father after an intense argument. He had moved back in with his parents after he was going through a really, really tough time with his musical career, and he was suffering from addiction. His mother came between the two men to try and stop the fight, but Marvin Sr. left the room and came back with a .38 pistol that his son had actually given him and shot Marvin Jr. in the chest. Marvin Gaye's brother Frankie, who actually lived next door and held Marvin in his final moments, later wrote in his memoir that Marvin Gaye's final disturbing statement was, "I got what I wanted. I couldn't do it myself, so I made him do it." Marvin Gaye, may you rest in peace. Many, 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 many babies were conceived to your love songs. Thanks for watching.